Fernanda pushed the bedroom door open and found chaos. Broken toys, torn clothes, an overturned chair, and in the corner, an 8-year-old boy with clenched fists and eyes red from crying so much. When he saw Fernanda, he exploded. "Get out of here, I hate you!" Bernardo rushed towards her, his fists raised. Fernanda did not back down. She held his 2 fists firmly, but without hurting him. The boy struggled, spat, tried to kick. "You can hit me if you want," she said, looking straight into his eyes. "You can scream, but I won't leave." Bernardo stopped, panting. I hate everyone." "I know." "I hated too." Fernanda held firm. "I had a brother. He died when he was 12 years old, and I was so angry that I wanted to break everything, just like you." The boy fell silent, just trembling. "Your mother died, right?" It was as if something inside him finally broke. Bernardo dropped to his knees and started to cry. A desperate cry from someone who had held everything in for too long. Fernanda knelt down and opened her arms. He threw himself into them and cried on her shoulder. He cried for the mother who would never return. He cried for the anger he didn't know how to cure. "Cry as much as you need," she whispered. "I'm not going anywhere." When Bernardo finally stopped, he was exhausted. He rested his head on her shoulder and slept. That's how Thiago Bittencourt found the 2 of them. He was frozen in the doorway, unable to believe it. The son no one could touch was sleeping, peacefully in a stranger's lap. For the first time in 4 years, Thiago felt hope. "How long has he been like this?" Thiago whispered, entering the room. "About 15 minutes. He cried?" His voice cracked. Fernanda nodded. Thiago looked at his son's relaxed face without the tension that lived in his shoulders. "I'm Thiago, his father, and you are Fernanda, from the cleaning agency. How did you do it?" He didn't finish the question. "I understood his anger. I lost my brother in a shooting. I know what it's like to want to destroy everything." Thiago closed his eyes for a second. "When Helena died, I was driving. A truck ran the light. I hit her side. Bernardo saw everything from the back seat. He was 4 years old. And you blame yourself for being alive." Fernanda stroked Bernardo's hair. "Could you come back?" Thiago asked desperately. "He's had 7 psychologists and none of them achieved what you did in half an hour." "I'll come back, but not as a cleaner. I only know how to be the same thing." "That's exactly what he needs." At that moment, a voice cut through the air. "Thiago, what's going on here?" Carmen was in the doorway, looking at the scene with shock. That turned into anger. "I'm going to hire her," Thiago said, standing up. 3 times a week to stay with Bernardo. "Are you crazy? A stranger?" "A stranger who achieved what no one else has in 4 years." Carmen opened her lips. "We'll talk later, in private." She cast an icy glance at Fernanda. "You can leave now." When Fernanda left with Thiago to arrange the details, Carmen stood in the hallway, and the expression on her face was pure hatred. Thiago took Fernanda to the kitchen. "Sorry about my aunt. She's lived here since Helena died. She's overly protective sometimes." "It's okay, I understand. You can start Monday 3 times a week. I'll pay triple what you earn as a cleaner." "Triple?" Her eyes widened. "You don't have to. You'll be saving my son. There's no price for that." Fernanda hesitated. This would change her and her mother's lives, but it would also put her inside a world that money didn't know. But she remembered Bernardo's peaceful little face. Deal. The 2 shook hands. Outside the kitchen, Carmen heard everything. She walked to the office, locked the door, and went to the built-in safe behind the painting. Inside were stacks of money and folders with documents, fake invoices, invented receipts, all in Bernardo's name, justifying treatments that never existed. Carmen had been embezzling money for 4 years, more than $300,000. If Thiago married again, the new wife would audit the accounts. Carmen would be discovered, lose everything. She could even be arrested. She picked up her cell phone and typed a message. "I need to talk to you, urgent. We have a problem." Carmen looked at the folders in the safe and closed it tightly. "She won't last," she muttered. "I won't let her." 2 weeks passed. Fernanda stayed at the mansion every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. At first, Bernardo was suspicious, but slowly he opened up. He asked if she would leave like the others. Fernanda promised she wouldn't and kept her promise. Bernardo started eating without throwing food. He tidied up his toys when she asked. He even picked up a toy car that had fallen under the bed for the first time. Thiago watched everything from the doorway, crying silently with emotion. But not everything was rosy. The maids started commenting among themselves. "She's going to end up with the boss, you'll see." The cook said, "A cleaner? He would never stoop so low. Didn't you see the way he looks at her?" Carmen heard everything, and every comment about Fernanda was like a stab. One afternoon, while Bernardo was playing in the garden with Fernanda, Thiago joined them. The three of them laughed at something the boy had said. They looked like a family. Carmen watched from the office window, took out her cell phone, and started taking photos. Several photos. She would need proof when the time came to act. That night, after Fernanda left, Thiago put Bernardo to sleep. "Dad, is Fernanda going to be my new mom?" the boy asked. Thiago almost, choked. "She's your friend, son. She's here to help you. But I wanted her to stay forever. We never know what will happen, Bernardo, but as long as she can be here, she will be. Do you think Mom would like her?" Thiago held back his tears. "I think your mother would love her." Bernardo sighed. And slept. And for the first time since the accident, Thiago allowed himself to think that maybe it was possible to be happy again. Midnight on Tuesday, Carmen was in the office reviewing fake documents. Specialized psychological treatment, $20,000. Intensive occupational therapy, $15,000. All lies. The money went straight into her account, and Thiago never questioned anything. But now, there was a girl showing up 3 times a week. A girl Thiago was clearly starting to admire, perhaps more than admire. If they got involved, if they married, the new wife would audit the accounts, discover the fraud. Carmen would be arrested. She picked up her cell phone and called her accomplice accountant. "I need you to investigate Fernanda Souza. I want to know everything about her. Past, family, previous jobs, everything." "Why?" "Just do what I'm telling you." She took a deep breath. "I'll pay." "Extra." "Okay, but it's going to be expensive." "It doesn't matter. Just bring me something I can use against her." Carmen hung up and opened the drawer. She took out the envelope with the photos of Fernanda with Bernardo, with Thiago, the 3 of them together looking like a family. "You won't ruin my life," she whispered. "This house is mine. This money is mine, and I won't lose everything because of some nobody from the favela." The next morning, when Fernanda arrived, Carmen was waiting. "Good morning, Fernanda. I wanted to ask you something. Don't touch the objects in the living room. Some things have a lot of sentimental value. But I don't touch anything. I only come to take care of Bernardo." I know, it's just a warning. You know how it is. We feel insecure with new people in the house." The phrase was a subtle dig. Carmen had already planted the first seed. Friday night, Bernardo insisted so much for Fernanda to stay for dinner that Thiago ended up convincing her. Afterwards, the two stayed in the kitchen talking while washing dishes. "Sometimes I forget where I am," Fernanda said, rinsing a plate. "It seems like a fairy tale. It's not a fairy tale." Thiago dried his hands. "There's pain, trauma, guilt, but you can have a happy ending. And I have faith that you will have one. You two. You and me too. I hope." The two looked at the kitchen silently. Thiago took a step towards her. "Fernanda, I can't stop thinking about you." Her heart pounded. "This is crazy." "It is, but it's been a long time since I felt anything. And with you, I feel. I'm not from your world. This will never work. What if I don't care about the world? What if I only care about you?" At that moment, a voice shouted from the living room, "Dad, come see!" The two quickly stepped away from each other. Thiago went to the living room, but stopped at the door. "Fernanda, I didn't say anything I didn't mean." 10 minutes later, the 3 of them were in the living room watching a cartoon. Bernardo was jumping on the sofa, excited. You know what we could do? He suddenly said. Fer could be my mom, and then we'd be a real family. Silence. Bernardo, honey, Thiago began. I'm not saying she's going to replace Mom, but she's not here, is she? And Fer is, and I really like her. And you like her too, Dad. I can see it. The boy took Fernanda's hand with one of his, and Thiago's with the other, and joined the two. There, now you're dating. I chose. Thiago and Fernanda stood with their hands joined, put there by a child who had no idea of the bomb he had dropped. Neither of them let go for a few seconds, until Fernanda carefully withdrew her hand. It's late. I need to go. On the way to Fernanda's house, the two remained silent. A heavy silence full of unspoken things. When Thiago stopped in front of her house, Fernanda was about to get out, but he gently held her arm. About what Bernardo said. What if he's seeing something that both of us are? Afraid to admit? Thiago, I won't ask for anything. I just want you to know that what I feel is real. And if you feel something too, that's okay. And if you don't feel it, that's okay too. Fernanda felt tears burning. I feel it. I do feel it. But we are from different worlds. People will judge. Your family will think I'm a gold digger. I don't want Bernardo to suffer. I don't want you to regret it. I don't care about any of that. But I do. She opened the door and got out, almost running. Good night, Thiago. Thiago stayed there watching her go in and close the door. He punched the steering wheel, frustrated. What he didn't see was the figure watching from afar. Carmen was in her car, 3 houses behind. She had followed the two. She saw everything. The way Thiago held her arm, how they looked at each other, the intensity of the conversation, and photographed everything with her cell phone zoom. I got it, she murmured, looking at the photos. I finally got what I need. She started the car and drove away, a sinister smile on her face. Tomorrow the real war would begin, and Fernanda had no idea what was coming. Fernanda arrived on Monday and found Thiago in the living room. Good morning, she said, still awkward after the conversation in the car. Good morning, Bernardo is waiting for you. Carmen emerged from the hallway. Fernanda, 1 minute. Do you know anyone who worked with you before? Any references? But Mr. Thiago has already hired me. It's just for my peace of mind, dear. You stay alone with my nephew. Fernanda went upstairs with a knot in her stomach. Carmen was digging. Later, the maids whispered in the kitchen about Carmen investigating the new girl. One of them swore she had seen fake therapy bills for the boy. In the afternoon, Carmen caught Thiago at the entrance. Don't you think it's strange that she won Bernardo over so quickly? People like that have ulterior motives. Carmen, don't start. You've known her for 2 weeks. I've known you for 35 years, trust me. Thiago left without answering, but the doubt was already planted. At night, a friend called, asking if it was true that he was getting involved with a maid, that people were commenting that the class difference could go very wrong. Thiago hung up angrily, but the words kept echoing. On Wednesday, the atmosphere in the house had changed. The maids barely looked at Fernanda. Donna Rosa, what's going on? The cook hesitated. Donna Carmen is telling everyone that you were fired from your previous job for theft. Fernanda felt the world spin. That's a lie. I left because my father got sick. I know, dear, but she's convincing. Fernanda's mother called in the afternoon, worried, saying that people like them don't mix with rich people, that in the end, the poor person always loses. When Bernardo woke up from his nap, he realized she was different. Fer, are you sad? Sometimes. Sometimes people tell lies about us, and that hurts. Lies? About you? He asked. Bernardo hugged her tightly. I don't believe lies. I believe you. And that's what made Fernanda cry. Thiago intercepted Fernanda before she left. I heard what my aunt has been saying about you being fired for theft. And you believe it? No, but I need to know the truth. She told him about her sick father and leaving on good terms. Thiago believed her. My aunt is doing this on purpose. She wants to get you out of here. Why? Because she's afraid of losing control. He looked into her eyes. And because you're changing everything. Silence fell heavy between them. Maybe it's better if I leave before this gets worse. No, please. He took a step closer. Bernardo needs you, and so do I. Thiago, since you arrived, life has returned to this house. It's not just Bernardo, it's me too. We barely know each other. I know, but I can't stop thinking about you. He was so close now that she could feel his warmth. This is crazy. I know. He closed the distance and kissed her. It was a desperate kiss, full of months of loneliness. Fernanda should have stopped, but she couldn't, because she felt everything too. When they separated, both were breathless. We can't, she whispered. I know, but I can't stop. Fernanda grabbed her backpack and left before doing something she would regret. In the garden window, hidden in the shadows, Carmen lowered her cell phone. She had filmed everything. Carmen spent the next 2 days scheming. Thursday night, she went to Helena's former room and took the diamond earring Thiago had given his wife. Valuable, but more than that, a precious memory. Friday, Fernanda arrived, as always. Carmen was waiting with a smile. Good morning, Fernanda. Bernardo is waiting for you. The morning was normal. Fernanda played with Bernardo, read a story. After lunch, while the boy was watching a cartoon, she went to tidy up his room, leaving her backpack on the chair. Carmen entered, silent as a snake, looked down the hallway, opened the backpack, shoved the earring deep inside among the clothes, closed it, and left quietly. 2 hours later, she entered Helena's room, making a scene. Thiago ran upstairs. What's going on? The earring! The diamond one is gone. Tears in her eyes. It was the last important memory I had of her. Calm down, let's look. Someone took it. Fernanda appeared at the door. Is something wrong? Carmen looked at her with accusation. A valuable diamond earring is missing. Who entered this room today? Thiago asked. Carmen let the silence hang, looking meaningfully at Fernanda. I didn't come in here, Fernanda said, her blood running cold. We're going to search the house, Thiago decided. And the bags, too. Fernanda felt the trap closing. You can search. I have nothing to hide. Fernanda's backpack was in Bernardo's room. Thiago placed it on the bed and opened it. He took out a water bottle, her coat, her wallet, and then deep inside, wrapped in a shirt, was the diamond earring. The silence was deafening. I don't know how that got in there, Fernanda whispered. I swear. Carmen covered her mouth. My God. Thiago looked at the earring, then at Fernanda, and she saw doubt in his eyes. You don't believe me. I didn't take this. Someone planted it. Who would do that? Carmen said, too innocent. Fernanda looked straight at her. You would. How dare you accuse me? Enough. Thiago ran a hand over his face. Fernanda, I think it's better if you go home until this is clarified. You've already decided. Tears rolled down. You're sending me away. I just need time to think. No, you don't. She grabbed her backpack and threw the earring on the bed. Keep it. Bernardo was in the hallway. He had heard everything. Fer, are you leaving? Fernanda knelt in front of him. I am, but not because I want to. You promised. You wouldn't! You promised! I know, sweetie, and I'm so sorry. No! Bernardo started screaming. You can't go, Fernanda! She hugged him tightly. I love you, okay? Never forget that. She let him go and ran downstairs before she lost her courage. The front door slammed. Thiago stood listening to his son scream in the hallway. Carmen had an almost imperceptible smile on her face. Saturday morning dawned in hell. Bernardo locked himself in his room and started breaking everything again. He screamed, cried, wouldn't let Thiago in. Go away, I hate you. You sent her away. Thiago punched the door, desperate. Carmen appeared in the hallway. Let him go. It's just a tantrum. Are you satisfied? Look what you did. What did I do? I uncovered a thief. She's not a thief. Thiago turned, his eyes red. And I know you set this up. You're defending her because you're in love. I saw you. Kissing. Thiago froze. Do you think she's here for love? Carmen continued. Or maybe it's for the money. Shut up, you're pathetic. Shut up! The scream echoed through the house. Thiago breathed heavily, his hands shaking. Get your things and leave this house today. Carmen turned white. You're going to kick me out because of some nobody from the favela? I'm going to kick you out because you lied, you manipulated, and you made my son suffer. You have until the end of the day. He went into the room and slammed the door. Carmen was left alone, trembling, but it wasn't over yet. She picked up her cell phone and made a call. Hello, newsroom. I have a tip. Millionaire businessman taking advantage of a vulnerable maid. I even have a video. The rest of the weekend was torture. Bernardo locked in, refusing to eat, screaming whenever Thiago tried to approach. The following Friday night, after an unbearable week, Thiago finally put Bernardo to sleep by force with the help of a doctor-prescribed sedative. He opened his laptop with trembling hands and checked the security cameras every second until he found the proof of what Carmen had done, because Fernanda was right. It had been set up, and he was going to prove it. Saturday morning, Bernardo didn't touch his coffee. Thiago thought it was a tantrum. Son, please, you need to eat something. I don't want to, Bernardo. I'll only eat when Fair comes back. At lunch, the boy pushed the plate away. He refused his afternoon snack. He didn't come out for dinner. Sunday was the same, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Bernardo only drank water when Thiago insisted a lot. On Thursday, the boy was pale, too weak to get out of bed. Bernardo, for God's sake, you're going to get sick. I don't care. How can you not? Has Fer come back? No. Then I don't want anything. Thiago called the pediatrician. The doctor came Friday morning, examining Bernardo. Dr. Thiago, your son is entering severe dehydration. If he continues like this, you'll have to hospitalize him. He hasn't eaten since Saturday, a week. This is a hunger strike. I've seen cases like this in traumatized children. The doctor closed his briefcase. What was the trigger? An important person left. Then bring that person back, or your son will starve to death. That afternoon, Bernardo fainted in the bathroom. Thiago found him on the floor, picked him up. His body was limp, too light. Thiago took him to bed. The boy slowly opened his eyes. Dad, I'm here, son. I just wanted Fair back. I know. I'll fix this, I promise. Bernardo closed his eyes again. Thiago left the room and collapsed in tears in the hallway. His son was dying, and it was all because of him. He had to find the proof. He had to find it now. Thiago spent Friday night reviewing the cameras. There were cameras in the living room, in the hallways, in the garden, but not in Bernardo's room, nor Helena's. He saw Carmen entering Helena's room on Thursday, leaving minutes later, but he didn't see what she did inside. He saw Fernanda going up on Friday morning, her backpack staying on the chair, and then Carmen entering the room. The hallway camera showed her looking around and going in. 43 seconds later, she came out. Enough time to plant something in a backpack. But it wasn't concrete proof. Carmen could say she went in for anything. Thiago punched the table, frustrated. On Saturday morning, while changing Bernardo's bedsheet, he found a piece of paper under the pillow. It was a crayon drawing. It showed 3 people, a tall woman with her hair tied back, a door, a colorful bag. In the drawing, the woman put something small and shiny inside the bag. Underneath, in shaky child handwriting, Aunt put the earring. Thiago's heart pounded. Bernardo, son, look at me. The boy opened his eyes with effort. You saw Aunt Carmen putting the earring. In Fair's backpack? Bernardo nodded his head. Why didn't you say anything before? I tried. The voice came out weak. But you didn't want to listen. You just wanted to send her away. You chose to believe Auntie and not me. Thiago felt a pain in his chest that almost knocked him down. I'm sorry. Son, I'm so sorry. He grabbed the drawing and ran to the office. He had proof. Along with the camera video, maybe it was enough, but he needed more. Thiago went back to the videos, put on headphones and turned up the volume. He was at the part where Carmen left Bernardo's room. He turned it up. More, isolated the audio, and heard clearly, There, Now you're screwed. It was her voice, no doubt. Carmen had admitted it out loud, thinking no one would hear. Thiago saved the file, backed it up in 3 places, and called his lawyer. Marcelo, I need you here now. The lawyer arrived in an hour. Thiago showed him everything, the video, the audio, the drawing. This is enough to prove she set it up, the lawyer said. But there's more. Have you audited the accounts? No, I never had a reason to. I think you better audit. People who set things up like this are usually hiding something bigger. Thiago called the accountant, the man answered, trembling. Dr. Thiago, I saw the news that Dona Carmen was expelled from the house. I need to talk to you. About what? About the accounts. She forced me to falsify documents. I'm afraid of being arrested too. An hour later, the accountant was in the office with a pen drive in his hand. It's all here. She was embezzling money using Bernardo's name. Treatments that never happened. Fake therapies. How much? $327,000 over the last 4 years. Thiago turned white. The room spun. Carmen hadn't set it up just out of jealousy. She had set it up because she was stealing, and she knew that if he got involved with someone, married again, the new wife would discover everything. Did you keep the evidence? Everything. Fake notes, transfers. I was afraid of being accused too, so I kept a copy of everything. Thiago took the pen drive and opened his hand. He had everything now. Everything to destroy Carmen and clear Fernanda's name. Carmen was in a cheap hotel in the South Zone. She still thought she could reverse the situation. She had leaked the story to the press. She had the video of the kiss. Thiago will have to backtrack. Sunday night, a knock came at the door. She opened it and found Thiago with 2 police officers behind him. Thiago? What? Carmen Bittencourt. You are under arrest for embezzlement, ideological falsehood, and defamation. What? One of the officers stepped forward. You have the right to remain silent. This is a mistake. Thiago, tell them. It's not a mistake. Thiago showed a paper. It's in the audits. $327,000 diverted. Fake notes, ghost accounts, all in my son's name. Carmen paled. I can explain. Is there more? He showed the cell phone with the video. Hallway. Camera, you entering the room. Audio of your voice saying, now you're screwed after planting the earring. You can't use that. Yes, I can. And you? Her legs gave out. Thiago, I'm your aunt. I took care of you when Helena died. You used my son. You used his name to steal from me. You framed an innocent woman. His voice came out harsh. You are nothing to me anymore. The police officers put something on her wrists. Even after everything, a part of Thiago hurt seeing his aunt being led away, but the part that loved his son hurt much more. This is a mistake, Carmen screamed as Carmen. She was dragged away. The culprit is that nobody from the favela, she set it all up. The only one who manipulates anyone was you, and now you will pay. Carmen was put in the police car screaming. The car drove off with the siren on. The lawyer put a hand on Thiago's shoulder. And now, I'm going after Fernanda, and I'm going to beg her to forgive me. Thiago arrived at Fernanda's house at 10 on Sunday night. He knocked on the door. An elderly woman opened it in a robe, suspicious. Who is it? Good evening, ma'am. I'm Thiago. I work with Fernanda. I really need to talk to her. The mother crossed her arms. My daughter doesn't want to talk to you. Please, I discovered the truth. I have proof that she is innocent. Too late, young man. Bernardo is in the hospital. He hasn't eaten for a week. He's dying. The woman hesitated. Dying? Hunger strike. Only seeing her will. Bring him back! Tears burned. Please, I'm not asking for myself. I'm asking for my son. The mother looked into the dark hallway. She's not here. What? She left Friday morning, went to her cousin's house in Campinas. She said she couldn't stand being in São Paulo anymore. Do you have her phone number? I do, but she won't answer anyone. She only replies to messages occasionally. Please send her a message. Tell her I need to talk, that she's free of any accusation, that Bernardo needs her. The mother remained silent. I'll send it, but I don't guarantee anything. My daughter suffered a lot because of your family. I know, and I'll spend the rest of my life trying to fix that. He returned to the car, shaking, picked up his cell phone, and sent a message to Fernanda. Fernanda, please, I've discovered everything. I have proof that you are innocent. My aunt was arrested. But Bernardo is in the hospital. He won't eat without you. Please come back. Not for me, for him. He sent it and kept watching, waiting. Nothing. At that moment, his cell phone vibrated. Unknown number. I'm calling, but it's not for you. Thiago felt the collapse break in his chest, rested his forehead on the steering wheel, and finally breathed. Monday morning, Thiago was at the hospital. Bernardo had an IV drip in his arm, his eyes closed, his breathing weak. The doctor had said that if he didn't eat in the next few hours, he would put in a feeding tube. Forced feeding. Son, please. I'm trying to bring Fair, but you need to have strength when she arrives. Bernardo didn't respond. At 2 p.m., a nurse entered. Dr. Thiago, there's a young woman who wants to see you. His heart leaped. Let her in. Fernanda appeared in the doorway. Same clothes as always, backpack on her back, eyes red. You came back, Thiago whispered. She looked at the bed and covered her mouth. My God, how did you let it get this far? Her voice was harsh. How could you not believe me and almost kill your own son? Thiago recoiled from her anger. We can talk later. She cut him off, going straight to the bed. He's what's important now. Fernanda took Bernardo's hand gently. Bernardo, sweetie, it's me, Fer. Nothing. Bernardo, open your eyes for me. The boy didn't move. Fernanda looked at the monitor. Weak heartbeat. How long exactly has it been? A week, since last Saturday. She leaned, down close to his ear. Bernardo, I came back just like I promised. I would never abandon you, truly. I'm here now. Silence. Minutes passed. Fernanda continued to speak softly, saying that everything was okay, that she wouldn't leave again, that he could trust her. 5 minutes, 10, 15. Thiago started. Go. To think it wouldn't work. But then Bernardo's fingers moved. That's it. Wake up for me, sweetie. Slowly, very slowly, Bernardo opened his eyes, focusing on Fernanda's face. For a second, he looked like he didn't believe it. Fear. His voice was hoarse, broken. It's me. I came back. You promised, and I kept my promise. I'm staying here. I won't leave again. Bernardo started to cry, tears tracing down his thin face. I was afraid you would never come back. I know. Fernanda wiped his tears. But it's over now. And you need to get strong again. You need to eat for me. Bernardo nodded his head. Will you stay here with me? I will. I won't leave your side. He squeezed her hand with the little strength he had, and for the first time in a week, smiled. Thiago was leaning against the wall, silent tears streaming down. Fernanda had returned and had just saved his son's life. But when she finally looked at him, her eyes held no forgiveness. They held anger. They held pain. And Thiago knew he had much, much to regret. Fernanda spent 3 days in the hospital without leaving Bernardo's side. She slept in the uncomfortable armchair, ate bad hospital food, and didn't let go of the boy's hand. Thiago tried several times to talk to her. Fernanda simply turned her face away. We'll talk later, was all she said. Bernardo slowly improved. First broth, then half a piece of bread. On the 3rd day, he asked for pasta. What if I can't eat it all? He said. Afraid. Then you only eat what you can. No one is rushing you. He ate half. Fernanda celebrated as if he had won a medal. On the 3rd day, the doctor discharged him. He can continue recovery at home as long as someone is taking care of him. I'll take care of him, Fernanda said. Are you family? She is the person he wants close to him, Fernanda cut in without looking at Thiago. And that's what's important. On the way to the mansion, Bernardo slept in the back seat. Thiago was driving. Fernanda looked out the window. We need to talk. Thiago sighed. Not now, Fernanda, please. Explain what? She looked at him, her eyes shining. That you doubted me? You accused me of theft in front of your son. You kicked me out without even trying to find out the truth. I know. I made a huge mistake. You almost killed your son, Thiago, because of your lack of trust. That boy went week without eating. Do you realize that? Thiago clenched the steering wheel. I know. And you will spend the rest of your life trying to fix it. It's not with me you need to fix things. It's with him. Fernanda went back to looking out the window. I came back for Bernardo, only for him. The rest of the way was done in silence. When they arrived, Bernardo woke up and looked around. Will you stay here with me? Yes, sweetie. I promise. I promise. He held her hand tightly, and the two went in together. Thiago stayed behind, carrying the bags, feeling the weight of the distance between him and Fernanda. Fernanda moved into the maid's room. Officially, she was Bernardo's caregiver, a decent salary, official contract. But between her and Thiago, only silence. Bernardo improved slowly. He started eating again, playing, smiling, but he clung to Fernanda, afraid she would disappear. Will you be here when I wake up? He asked every night. Yes, sweetie. You can sleep peacefully. A week later, Thiago tried again. It was night. Bernardo was sleeping. Fernanda was in the kitchen making tea. May I sit down? Thiago asked. She shrugged. He sat down. I wanted to show you something. He took out his cell phone, opened a video. It was from the hallway camera. He turned the screen towards her. Fernanda watched in silence. She saw Carmen entering Bernardo's room. 43 seconds leaving. Is there audio too? The voice of Carmen. There, now you're screwed. Fernanda closed her eyes. I know this doesn't change what I did, but I wanted you to see. She was arrested. Your name is clear. The case was dismissed and you were officially innocent. Thank you for showing me, but it doesn't change anything between us. I know. She grabbed her cup and headed for the stairs. Fernanda! She stopped but didn't turn around. You are incredible. The way you take care of Bernardo, your patience, your love. He is very lucky, and I am too. Fernanda went upstairs without replying. In the following days, small things changed. Fernanda no longer ran away when he entered. She answered when he asked about Bernardo. She even accepted to have dinner together. It was a silent dinner, but without the heavy tension. Afterward, Bernardo asked for a movie. The three sat on the sofa, Bernardo in the middle. In the middle of the movie, he dozed off. I think it's better to take him to bed, Fernanda whispered. I'll take him. They carried Bernardo together, put him in bed, covered him, and turned off the light. They stood in the hallway. Thank you, Thiago said, for coming back, for taking care of him, for not giving up even when I gave you every reason. 2. I didn't do it for you, I did it for Bernardo. I know, but even so, thank you. She nodded and went to her room, but Thiago saw something different in that look. The anger was there, but there was a small crack, a possibility. For now, that was enough. 2 weeks later, the news broke. Businessman accuses maid of theft, but it was a setup by criminal aunt. There were photos of them in the hospital, at the mansion, even the kiss Carmen filmed. Thiago's phone wouldn't stop ringing. Worried friends, partners questioning, journalists wanting interviews. Fernanda was pale. I saw the story. I didn't give an interview. I don't know how they got it. It was your aunt before she was arrested. Fernanda's phone rang. Her mother. Daughter, did you see what they're saying? I did. Mom, leave that house now. I can't leave Bernardo. Fernanda, these rich people will destroy you. I know, Mom, but I don't care. I'm here for the boy. She hung up and looked at Thiago. Your friends will judge. They already are, but I don't care. At that moment, Bernardo appeared on the stairs. Why are you sad? It's nothing, sweetie, Fernanda said. It's because of people talking. Bad on the internet. Thiago's eyes widened. How do you know? I heard the maid talking. She said they're calling Fair a gold digger, but I don't care. He came downstairs. I know Fair is here for me, because she loves me. You two are my family, and whoever talks bad will have to talk to me. Fernanda felt tears welling up. You are very brave. I learned from you. Thiago looked at Fernanda. She looked back, and for the first time, there was something different there. Shall we go in? Bernardo said. I'm hungry. The three went to the kitchen together, and even with the world judging, outside, inside, they were becoming a real family. Another month passed. The news subsided, the company continued normally, and inside the mansion, things changed. Fernanda no longer ran away. They talked at dinner, sometimes they laughed. The anger was giving way. One night, Bernardo was all ready. Sleeping, Fernanda was getting water. Thiago was there, working late. What distracts you all the time? Thinking about you. Fernanda stopped. Thiago. Sorry, sometimes it slips out. She stood looking out the window. Do you know what's the hardest thing? It's that I wanted to hate you. It would be easier. She turned to him. But I can't. As much as I try, I can't hate you. Thiago spoke slowly. And that makes me angry at myself because I should have left. But whenever I think about it, I remember Bernardo and you. And what? And I don't want to leave. Her voice was faint. I don't want to leave. And that scares me a lot. He took a step closer. You don't have to leave. You can stay for as long as you want. What if I hurt you again? I won't let you. I promise you, Fernanda. I will spend the rest of my life showing you that you can trust me. How do I know you won't? Change your mind? Because I love you. He took her hand. I think I've loved you since the day I saw you holding Bernardo's fists. You are the strongest person I know, and I would be the biggest fool in the world if I let you go. Fernanda was crying. I love you too, and I hate it. I hate that I hate. Love you after everything. Then hate it, but stay. She looked into his eyes, saw sincerity, saw love. Okay, I'll stay. Thiago pulled her into a tight embrace. When they separated, their faces were close. He looked at her mouth. She nodded, and they kissed. It was different from the first. Wasn't desperate. It was careful, full of promises. Bernardo is going to be happy, Thiago said, smiling. He already knew everything before us. The two laughed, and for the first time in months, everything felt right. A few months later, Thiago asked Fernanda to marry him, simply in the mansion's garden, with Bernardo helping to hold the ring. She said, yes, crying. A year later, they were getting married. The ceremony was in the same garden, white flowers, wooden chairs, Fernanda's mother in the first row, crying. Bernardo, now 10 years old, beside Thiago as the page boy. When the music started, Fernanda appeared. A simple white dress, hair loose, a bouquet of daisies. She walked alone, head held high. Thiago was crying when she arrived. You look beautiful. And you are crying. Can I cry at my wedding? You can. Bernardo rolled his eyes. Are you going to get married or keep talking? Everyone laughed. The justice of the peace began the ceremony. When they reached the vows, Thiago was first. Fernanda, you showed me it was possible to start over, possible to love again. You saved my son, and you saved me too. I promise to love you every day and never doubt you. Again. Fernanda was crying. Thiago, you showed me that love has nothing to do with money or class. It has to do with choice. Every day I choose you, I choose Bernardo, I choose this family, and I promise never to give up on us. By the power vested in me, I declare you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride. Thiago kissed her under applause. Bernardo jumped in between them. Now Fair is my real mom. I chose. Fernanda picked him up. You were always my champion. And you were always my mom. The three hugged while everyone applauded. Later, Bernardo pulled Fernanda aside. Fer, can I tell you something? Of course. I think Mom Helena would really like you. Fernanda felt her heart ache. You think so? I do. She wanted me to be happy, and I am happy with you. He hugged her. Thank you for not giving up on us. I'll never give up. At the end of the night, the three stood. In the garden, looking at the stars. 2 years ago, I was a desperate cleaner, Fernanda said. And now I'm married and the mother of an incredible boy. You were always his mother, Thiago corrected. And you always liked each other, Bernardo completed. I saw it in your eyes. Thank you for choosing me, Thiago said. Thank you for trusting me again, she replied. Thank you for coming back, Bernardo said to both of them. Fernanda rested her head on Thiago's shoulder and placed her hand on her still subtle belly. And there's going to be one more member in this family soon. Thiago's, eyes widened. Are you? She nodded. Bernardo shouted with joy, I'm going to be a big brother. The three hugged, laughing and crying at the same time. It had been a long and painful journey, but it had been worth it, because in the end, love had won, and they were finally a complete family. Did you like this story? Do you think Carmen got what she deserved? And Thiago, do you think he deserved to be forgiven by Fernanda? Tell me your thoughts.